Hello, and welcome to another episode of Preacher Man TV. I'm Pastor J. I guess by now from the thumbnail, some of you came on here because you're probably offended by what you saw, because the thumbnail should say something along the lines of all dog owners are nasty or all dog owners are inconsiderate or something like that. So the bottom line is this: before you judge me and before you write your hate comments or whatever, I want to encourage you to listen to the entire video and see where I'm actually going with this, because there's a point to what I'm saying. Let's get into it. See, I got up one morning and I put some warm clothes on because I was going for a jog, as I do in my neighborhood almost every day. So while I'm running, I normally encounter a number of dog owners and pet walkers and things like that. And I'm running down the street. I see, the usual dog owners. I say hello to everybody. So I get to the spot that's a little bit remote. There's nobody there. I realize when I look down that I was walking in a minefield. There was dog fecal matter everywhere. Now, in the neighborhood, they have provided bags and stations where you could clean up after your dogs and throw it away. I guess for some strange reason, these dog owners decided that they weren't going to clean up after their dogs, and they just left this stuff on the sidewalk. And now I had to negotiate this minefield. I found myself doing this strange type of dance, trying to get through all that stuff. And I'm thinking, man, some of these people are so inconsiderate. You're supposed to clean up after your dog, but you didn't do it. At that point in time, I got this idea. I realized something. I could take all the dog owners that I know, or all the dog owners in the world, and put them into one basket and say they are all inconsiderate. They are all filthy people. I don't even know what their houses would probably look like. I could do that, but I didn't. I went to church the next Sunday. Before I started to preach, I said all dog owners are filthy people. And I just heard a gasp from the congregation. How could he say that? Because we have a lot of dog owners in our church and people who love their dogs. I think there are people who love dogs and communicate with dogs more than they do with human beings. There are people in our society now, in America especially, that push their dogs in strollers, then inconsiderate to the dogs because the dogs like to run. And some people have the dogs locked up in the houses all day. So that's another way I could say that they're inconsiderate. So when I said that to the church, all dog owners are nasty, filthy people. A bunch of people, I could see that offense was written all over their faces. Rightfully so. If I'm a dog owner and somebody said that about me, I would be offended. Here's the point I'm getting at. So often, people, even dog owners, they look at Christians and say all Christians are hypocritical and all Christians are the same thing. The truth is, the people who left the gifts on the sidewalk that I had to navigate, it was just a small group of people. They're not all dog owners. As a matter of fact, I will submit to you that most dog owners are responsible. They clean up after their dogs. I see them doing it all the time. But to lump all of these people into one basket is totally unfair. It's totally ignorant. But people do that with Christians all the time and don't even think twice about it. You Christians are this, you Christians are that. Let me tell you, Christians come in all shapes, all forms, all levels of devotions. There are some Christians who are very, very dogmatic in their faith. Some Christians are very legalistic in their faith. Some Christians, they live by the book. They're very literal in the faith. We come in all shapes, colors, and sizes, folks. To lump all of us together and say that we're all hypocritical is in itself hypocritical. We have so many different denominations and people think that's a weakness. If you look at the Bible, it's not really a weakness. Even preachers in the church say it's a weakness. It's not. It doesn't have to be a division if we don't make it a division. But you see, everybody is claiming that they have the truth. Only the Bible has the truth. And if you live by the Bible, if you take the Bible in its literal sense, if you take the Bible in its metaphorical sense when needs be, then you won't have a problem. If you listen to the words of Christ and do not depart from the principles of Christ, then you'll be okay. There are some people who love to witness. There's a couple of reasons why most Christians witness. And I'll tell you why. One, because Jesus told us to do it. And two, because we are commanded to love people. If you love somebody, you'll want to share the best news with them that you've ever had. You want to share the good news of the gospel. When God has done something good for you, you want to share it with somebody else. If you've ever made the mistake to lump all of us Christians into one big, ugly basket, don't do it, because who knows, one day the table will be turned and it won't just be all dog owners are irresponsible and filthy. Who knows, one day it may not be all white people are bad, or it may not be all black people are bad. That's what the world does all the time. They lump everybody into one group. If we could be herded into groups, then we will be controlled as groups. When God deals with you, He deals with you on an individual level. The Bible says that every man has to work out his own salvation in fear and in trembling. God deals with the individual. So it's kind of unfair to lump us all together. I'm not here to talk about who's right and who's wrong. I'm not here to talk about if the Pentecostals are right or the evangelical First Baptist, Second Baptist, Third Baptist are right, or the Methodists. It's not about that. When you see the world looks at the church, what they see most of the time is just Christianity. There are some people who just despise Christianity, and those are normally the people who would lump us all into one group. When you meet different Christians who knows? You're going to find different responses. You're going to find different approaches. You're going to find people treating you differently. Not everyone who says, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven. Not everybody who goes to church is a Christian. But you going to church doesn't make you a Christian, no more than you standing in a garage makes you a car. Guys, if you've ever made the mistake to lump all Christians into one basket, that's the biggest mistake. Why? Because we are all individuals. We are all different. And before we go down that road, before we go down that path and say all Christians are hateful, or all Christians are homophobe, or all Christians are this, or all Christians are that, xenophobe, blah, 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 whatever, think again. Why? Because you're exercising ignorance. All Christians are not the same. I would say this much: Christianity allows you what we know as true freedom. Oh, that's a whole different topic altogether. True freedom. Some people think when you get away from God, it's freedom. In the book of Psalms, the Bible said the kings of the earth said, let us throw off their bonds, their chains, their shackles from us, because they're in pursuit of freedom. But the truth is, true freedom is not running from what is right. Because the truth is, you want to be free to sin. You want to be free to put the candlestick in your mouth. You want to be free to drink yourself into oblivion. And when you go to Christianity, that's not so. First of all, I don't preach that kind of stuff. I don't tell you what you could do and what you can't do. But true freedom is this. True freedom is being able to say to the candlestick, hey, I don't need you. Or to be able to say to that glass, that shot glass, hey, I could put you down. I will put you down whenever I want to put you down. And I'm not a slave to you. That is what true freedom is. And that only comes through Jesus Christ. Come on, we know what freedom is in Christianity. Those who know the gospel of Jesus Christ and have a relationship with Him, we know what freedom is. If you've met people who haven't conveyed this to you, well, then they didn't find that freedom yet. Before you lump us all into one group, don't be as ignorant to make a statement like all dog owners are filthy, because they aren't. We have responsible dog owners. All dog owners are irresponsible. Nah, don't make that mistake. All dog owners are irresponsible? Really? That's ignorant. Well, it's equally ignorant to say that all Christians are the same thing. All Christians are hateful. All Christians are unaccepting. All Christians are judgmental. I've heard it all before. Before we go down that path, think about it. Be wise. Don't be guilty of the same thing that you're accusing Christians of. Now think about that. I'm wading through this water, Lord, for better or for worse. In all my ways, I'm putting Jesus first. With love in every line, in every song, in every verse.